Sweet the whispers in your ear whenever ember wanders near.
How about we take a look at, it looks like Jake Monroe put out a video where he reviewed the body cam footage on his stream. So how about we take a look at the video that he put out where he takes a look at this surveillance and body cam footage from the incident in question. And let's take a look-see.
Now, this is a recording of a recording. So this is the tent in question here, okay? So around here, in this part here, this is where Carmelo Anthony is with Austin Metcalf. He's wearing a white t-shirt, but you can't see it here. So this is very, very difficult to make out here. So it's right here. This is where they are. They're at the top. I know this white t-shirt here looks like Carmelo. It's not him. It's up here. It's very, very difficult to make out. So a bunch of narratives are being destroyed in this footage, okay? So you had these black people who were insisting on the narrative that Carmelo Anthony was jumped by 4 other boys and he was...
Okay, I think I need to offer a correction on this. It was not just strictly speaking black people that were making these suppositions regarding Carmelo Anthony basically being attacked on all sides from people. It was I'll just call them the activists. It was the activists insisting that everything about this was racially motivated, that were insisting that the entire team basically dogpiled on Carmelo Anthony, and which is what resulted in him taking action in quote unquote self-defense. So I want to make that clear distinction, because it's not simply just like, you know, the way that Jake is putting out is like, you know, a bunch of black people were saying this. Like, yes, black people were saying this, but there were also black people who were saying, no, the evidence on this is very clear. He did not act in self-defense. This was a malicious attack. So that's why I want to be specific about this, that this was activists, this was SJRs, not just simply quote unquote black people and broad stroking it like that. So we need to be specific about this because of the way we have seen a very stark division between the black people who have become openly racist and black people that have been saying, no, what he did was wrong, what he did was malicious, and he absolutely deserves prison time. And some are even saying that the 35 years that he got, the 35 years he was sentenced to, is not enough, particularly given that he's going to be eligible for parole in 17 to 18 years. Even if he serves his full term, then he will still be out by the age of like 45 or 48 years old. So he will still like potentially be able to have a life after serving the sentence. And there are plenty of black people who are saying that wasn't enough, that what he did was a deliberate attack, that it was indeed murder, and he should not have gotten only 35 years. So that's why I do, like, specificity matters here. Is in that, you know, all of the people all of the black people that are basically claiming that this entire thing was racist against Carmelo, they are in fact racist themselves, and they have not been shy about publicly saying that, essentially speaking, he should have been allowed to kill a white person just because he's a black boy. They have not been shy about saying this. And again, we need to single out these individuals, because what's going to happen here is these individuals that are basically saying it's open season on white people, it should be legal to just kill white people for disrespecting a black boy, they need to be signaled out as the racists. They need, you know, they need to be basically put into their own space where they do not speak for black people at large. Because saying black people that looked at the evidence, looked at the circumstances, went, yeah, this is homicide. This was first-degree murder. This was not self-defense. They're the ones that are going to end up taking the brunt of this. Like, honestly, this is like the trans situation all over again. This is the scary part, is these blacktivists, these SJR racists that are basically saying it should be open season on white people, they are starting to do to the black community what the LGBT activists are doing to gay and trans people. That they're going, it's because they're shouting through a megaphone, they're going to be getting a lot of negative attention, and they're going to be painting black people at large in a very negative brush that all black people are racist, all black people just want to have open season on killing white people, and we know that's not true. But again, we're seeing, like, this is what happens when you, as a part of a group, do not publicly call out the bad actors and say, you do not represent us, we do not permit you to speak on our behalf. That needs to start happening now. Like, gatekeeping needs to come back in the biggest fucking way imaginable. Literally every group or organization now needs to gatekeep the ever-living fuck out of themselves. And if someone tries to represent themselves as being part of your group and is a bad actor, you need to come out publicly and say, you are not a part of us, you do not speak for us, we have nothing to do with you. Because otherwise, this is going to be a pile of shit, literally snowballing downhill.
Beaten, and he was being attacked by 4 boys, and that's why he had to use the knife to protect himself, because he got jumped. He was being attacked, so that's why he had to go ahead and use the knife. So this video actually proved, like, this video proves that that is not the case, because there is no commotion here. There's barely any movement in this tent until the stabbing happens. When the stabbing happens, you will see a bunch of movement with these black blurs here, and then you'll see Carmelo Anthony, the little rat, scurry down the bleachers here and run away. Yeah, it wasn't raining either. There, watch. About 1 minute in is where the stab.
Okay, well, I'm going to do an in fairness. It was never raining. The report was that it was misting. It was not full on raining. It was just misting. And I will do another allowance, is with these cameras, with something like mist and even with like overcast lighting, the cameras have light balance correction to basically lighten things up to make it actually seem brighter out than it actually is. You'll notice that a lot of web cameras do this too. I've experienced this on my personal web camera where I'll be like in a video call with my family and it'll actually be dark in the room that I'm, talking with my family on, but it looks like it's new. Like the web camera will adjust the white balance and it'll brighten everything up. So I'm going to do an in fairness on that where Jake was saying, well, look, it's not raining. It's like, yeah, there was like an intermittent light drizzle or even like a misting I've seen reports about. So there was like a dampness in the air, to be sure. Certainly. And the camera may have just had like its internal white balance shift and adjust to make things brighter.
Stab happens. It's about here. You'll see a bunch of commotion here. Wait for it. There. Bunch of movement. Do you see that? Bunch of movement. And then here's Carmelo Anthony.
So again, okay, so watch over here is what he's saying.
Here. You'll see a bunch of.
All right, so yeah, look where he's indicating. Because don't forget, the defense was that everybody in this tent all ganged up on him. And if everybody in this tent all ganged up on him, which would require him to use a knife for self-defense, you'd be seeing a crap ton of movement already of like 10, 15 people all surrounding Carmelo and fucking with them. But everybody is still. There is a distinctive stillness until...
Motion here. Wait for it. There. Bunch of movement. Do you see that? Bunch of movement. And then here.
Basically, it's a little bit jumpy around, but I've seen the footage. Basically, over on here, you see sudden movement from here, sharply going this way, and then coming back, which would have been Carmelo lunging and stabbing Austin in the chest, and then backing off, and then he comes out the top of the tent.
Here's Carmelo Anthony immediately scurrying away. Oh shit, I just did a crime. I literally didn't think or imagine what would happen after I stabbed a kid in the chest. All I could think about was stabbing the guy in the chest. I didn't think about, oh, now I'm going to be arrested. All I could hyper-focus on was doing the stabbing. Scurries away. Meanwhile, back in the tent here, Austin's dead. You'll see a bunch of movement here. Here. Stab. In fact,
you can see, you can
movement
kind of
here.
see
Here.
a push.
Stab.
Yeah, so you saw that. It was like, that was probably Austin giving Carmelo a push, and then Austin lunging back at him with the knife. That is again. Well,
Dead. You'll see a bunch of movement.
Watch here. The direction going this way is probably Austin just pushing Carmelo, and then Carmelo sharply lunging with the knife back at him before running out of the tent. Almost immediately.
Here.
Push.
Stab.
Lunge. Stab.
In fact, you can almost see the stab.
Immediately he's running. Immediately he runs, because you could see his feet going up here almost immediately after. Let me see if I can dial it back here. So after the forward lunge, you'll see almost immediately going up. Almost as soon as the stab happens, he immediately bolts. Immediately. So he basically lunges, stabs, and immediately runs away.
Oh, I must have been so excited he got to do the stabbing stuff. He's so excited about it. And scurries away like the rat that he is. Look at this. It's just a track meet. It's just a bunch of white folks meeting up to do... Because it's a nice area, so it's white people. One of the few blocks in the school, and they're stabbing. What's the per capita on that? Probably pretty high, right? This is the full 15-minute footage. Stab occurs at 7-minute 58 mark. You can then see Carmelo followed by a spotlight shown on the day of the trial with a video expert called to stand by the prosecution. Yeah, this is it. This is it cropped. This is it. This was the only camera in the place? Right here. So this entire time, Carmelo Anthony has been sitting in this tent, being told 15 times to leave because he's not meant to be there. All the while, Carmelo Anthony is begging one of these white boys to give him an excuse to stab them to death. Apparently, this guy had absolutely no empathy whatsoever for the situation. If you in the body cam footage where he was meant to be like crying and distraught, he ain't apparently.
No,
but do you understand that a lack of empathy is a low?
From what I heard, he was crying. Like, I guess when he approached a female officer, he was trying to act like he was crying, and then when the female officer wasn't buying it, I've seen reports that he basically immediately clammed up and became calm, cool, and collected when the female officer wasn't basically doing the mothering thing and believing him that he was so upset.
IQ thing. Do you know that? Not being able to understand other people's perspectives, not being able to imagine other people's feelings and emotions, not being able to understand how your actions affect other people and how they might feel. That's a symptom of low IQ. Do you know what also happens to affect black men higher than any other demographic on Earth? Narcissistic personality disorder. A lack of empathy is a symptom of a bunch of different things, primarily sociopathy, psychopathy, Machiavellianism, narcissistic personality disorder, as well as a few other personality disorders. Maybe histrionic personality disorder. Maybe not. Histrionic personality disorder is essentially every woman you've ever met. So there'll be a bunch of... Yeah, there's the push. Stab. Yep. You can see it. You can see it. It seems like Carmelo Anthony advances on Metcalf. Metcalf pushes Carmelo. Carmelo stabs him in the chest. That's why Austin Metcalf...
Hang on, let me see. Okay, he's... All right, let's see this again.
Essentially every woman you've ever met. So there'll be a bunch of... Yeah, there's the push. Stab.
Wait, that happens. Like, the angle sucks. The angle sucks
push,
here.
Stab. Yep, you can see it. You can see it. It seems like Carmelo Anthony advances on...
That's the stab right there. It might be difficult to see, but I think that is his arm extended stabbing Austin. That may be his extended arm right there.
On Metcalf. Metcalf pushes Carmelo. Carmelo stabs him in the chest. That's why Austin Metcalf's final words were, "I'm not gonna fight you, bro." Because Carmelo obviously got up into Austin's face. Austin pushed him back out of his personal space and said, "I'm not gonna fight you, bro." Carmelo went, "Finally, he's touched me. Now I can stab him to death." You can see it. You can see it. Here's Carmelo here. You see this right here? He's advancing on him, pushes him. Yeah, look, you can see that. And then you can see I can't make out which side is which, but you can see one side pushes the other, and then that side pushes back, and then you can see a very noticeable stabbing, and then literally within seconds of the knife being pulled out of his chest, Carmelo Anthony is there. I'm almost certain. Could be wrong. I'm almost certain, but this black blur on this side, is Carmelo. This side is Austin Metcalf. Okay, it looks like he's got his arm out there, like on Austin. You see this here? It seems like he's got his arm out on Austin, who's here. I'm almost 100% certain that's what I'm looking at here. Almost. And then you'll see him move forward, like get up in his face and push him. Austin then pushes back and says, "I'm not gonna fight you, bro." And then you can see him lunge forward and stab him. And then this blur goes up here.
Yeah, and then immediately bails. Yep.
Yeah,
there
that's
it
literally
is.
what it is. So based on what I can see, I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. This could contradict what the official reports were, but from what I can see here, it seems like Carmelo Anthony has his hand on Austin, because Austin's obviously been like, you have to get out, like leave, like get out of here. And then he advances on Austin, gets like up into his personal space. Austin then pushes him back and says, "I'm not gonna fight you, bro." Carmelo's stinky brain kicks in and goes, "Yeah, now I can stab," and does that. And then within seconds of the knife coming out,
it was basically what I don't obviously Jay censored himself there. What it was is it was the ghetto thug mentality kicked in. When Austin pushed him, the ghetto thug, which was drilled into his brain, because we've heard everybody at the courthouse that's been backing up Carmelo, that's basically been saying he should be let go. This was self-defense. How they've all been talking. How did every single person who was defending Carmelo at the courthouse, how did they talk? Every single one of them was hood or ghetto. And what are the odds that that's how Carmelo was raised? He was raised with the hood, thug, ghetto mentality, which was, you can't never let no one disrespect you. And when Austin pushed Carmelo, Carmelo's thug brain went, there we go. He's finally disrespected me. This is my chance. And boom, did his stab. Because of the thug brain. Because that's what this is all about. This was not a normal rat. This was not how a normal, well-adjusted person who is raised with good values thinks. This is how someone who is raised by ghetto hood rat parents or thug parents raises kids to go, you can't never let no one disrespect you. If someone disrespects you, you got to basically curb stomp them into oblivion, because disrespect is everything. And he just proved it, that basically a single pushes, there's the disrespect there was the excuse for disrespect that I was looking for. Boom, stab. It's all about culture.
Is running up the bleachers. One more time. Yeah, there's that first push right there, 7:58. Yeah, right there. He pushes him here, and then he pushes him back, and then literally like mid stumble back, Carmelo is like stabbing like this, pulls the knife out of his bag and puts the knife in his chest.
The knife was already in his hand though at this point. By the time the pushing happened, Carmelo already had the knife. He had already pulled that. I think, if memory serves, the timeline of the report said that he had already taken the knife out of the bag. The pushing happened, and then he stabbed. So he already had the knife in his hand by the time Austin did the push.
And then pulls back, and then there he is right here. Yeah, and then there, and then scurries away like a rat. Oh yeah, I did it. Oh yeah, I did what I wanted to do. Oh yeah. So it wasn't raining. He wasn't being ganged up on. He was the one who advanced on Austin and was getting up in his personal space, probably saying stuff like, "What you gonna do about it? Make me leave. I dare you to touch me." Like up here in his face, because Carmelo's like 6'1", 6'2", and is up in his fucking face. That's when Austin said, "I'm not gonna fight you, dude," making the mistake of touching a black guy, because as you guys know, that gives you full rights to stab someone to death. So he pushes him, and then Carmelo goes,
Bigglesworth, the mods didn't delete that, the AI did. And I think it was because he used the C word. That's why the automod probably picked up on it.
was, yes! Now I can do this! Carmelo spent that entire time baiting Austin to touch him. Austin would have destroyed him. Yeah, he would have destroyed him. That's probably why Austin didn't want to fight. Also that, and because, you know, he's a white kid who just wanted to have fun at the track.
Well, it was also, Austin was already on the hook for something. Austin was already on the hook for an issue from before, but the coach basically saw greatness in Austin. So he said, you know, he'd already basically suspended him from the team, but he still wanted to he wanted to give Austin that leadership position that he knew that he could excel in, and that's why he asked Austin to come to be at the track meet as that leader that the coach knew Austin could be. So that's why he was there. And as far as Carmelo goes, it's as far as like planned goes, I don't know. I think like did Carmelo plan on stabbing someone? Maybe not, but he brought the knife with him as like, okay, give me an excuse. Yeah, oh, if you're talking about when he pulled the knife out, then yes, that was a plan. When he pulled that knife out of his bag, there was an intention to stab someone, without a question. Like as soon as he took that knife out of his bag, there was an intention. The first person that touches me, I'm going to use that as an excuse because my thug brain says disrespect is evil. That I'm going to stab them the minute someone touches me. Yes, in that respect, yes, you are correct. You are correct.
There's also body cam footage of Carmelo being super calm when he was being arrested here. Yeah, here it is.
No, it's not premeditated. No, it is not. That is why he got first-degree murder. Because one thing you have to remember, people are making a big deal about, like, he was charged with first-degree murder. First-degree murder is not the same as premeditation in the state of Texas. In the state of Texas, premeditation is a further charge above first-degree murder, which I believe is classified as capital murder. So if there was actual premeditation that he planned on coming to the track meet with the intention specifically to kill Austin, put the knife in his bag, and basically was entirely intending to kill Austin. There was a plan to do it in advance, then that would be capital murder. What he did is, it was one step above a crime of passion. But it's not. Bringing a knife is not premeditated. Bringing a knife, it would be an intent to inflict harm. So you have the intention that he was going to inflict harm. Premeditation in a court of law would require a specific targeting of an individual. That is where premeditation would come into play. He would have had to have specifically planned to kill Austin. But he did not specifically plan to kill Austin. He brought the knife because he was, for the whole reason of someone disrespect me, I'm going to stab them. That is not premeditated because there is no specific target. However, the first-degree murder charge worked because he brought the knife with the intention of doing bodily harm. And when he pushed Austin, the heat of the moment thing was gone because it's not like they were in a knockdown, drag-out fight where Carmelo was, in fear for his life and so thus he stabbed, which was the entire bullshit defense that all of the racists have been trying to peddle, is that he got jumped and was trying to defend himself, which is a flat-out lie. But because he pulled the knife out, and then someone pushed him, and then he reciprocated with a fatal stab. That's where the first-degree murder, it's not heat of the moment. There was an intention to kill, especially with the fact that it was dead center of the chest, into the heart, like full all the way to the hilt, went to the charge of first degree. But it was not pre-planned that he intended to take Austin's life. That is why it did not make the capital murder charge, and it did the first-degree murder charge. Now, so yeah, first degree, I'm going to go to the school, knife, and hurt someone. Capital murders, I'm going to go to school, knife, and hurt this person. Effectively speaking, yes. You need it. Premeditation requires a specific target in order to determine premeditation. This is body cam footage here.
Dispatch 440. I got the suspects, and they're currently treating the victim. Again, he's on the north end of the stadium. All right.
I don't think I hate anyone more than I hate Carmelo Anthony right here. It's like a seething, burning hatred that I...
His notice. He's not crying. You can clearly hear, like, body cam with body cams, their microphones are pretty good. You can clearly hear the officer. You can hear the radio. Do you hear any sobbing and crying coming from Carmelo Anthony here? Nothing. Dead silence. He's not shaking. He's standing there. I'm guessing the police officer told him to put his hands on his head, and he's just standing stock still. No tears, no sobbing, no nothing. So that whole thing of, oh, he was so upset is out the window.
They have.
Any questions on you like that?
Also, why does it say 2016 down here? Is this out of date or what?
Yeah, they may not have programmed the date.
Y'all back up a little bit. Come over here. Come over here. I'm gonna put your handcuffs for now, okay?
That's a designer sweater.
Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down.
Yeah, and so like with the rate, you can see he's got some dampness on his sweater, which is like the light drizzle or misting. So, people are saying like it wasn't raining. No, it was like a light drizzle or a misting. You can see the wetness on his sweater. So it just wasn't like pouring down rain like all of the activists and the SJRs have been trying to claim. Oh, he was just trying to get out of the rain. It was like barely a light mist. If it was actually raining, his sweatshirt would be soaked. Instead of just having a few wet, damp spots on it.
Dispatch 443. Everybody can slow down. I got the alleged suspect in handcuffs right now detained.
Why does that say 2016? This was posted by Sarah Fields. Did anyone else point out the date here? I mean, this is Carmelo Anthony here. Why is the date?
It's chances are they might not have updated the body cam with the date. It's not a good thing, but it could happen that they didn't update the date and time. We've seen it before in body cam footage before where the date and time just doesn't seem right. Like it's showing a morning time, but it's night out. It's not unusual. It probably changed the battery and it didn't update. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's not unusual. I do wish police departments would be a little bit more tighter on addressing that, but it's not unusual.
Did he just not change the date on his body cam?
By the way, I saw someone in another video point out how ironic that he's wearing a sweater that says "Fear of God" on it after what he did. Yeah.
Okay. What they did? Nothing on your person at all. Mind if I reach in your pockets and stuff and all that?
Yeah, he's not crying.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Damn it, Jake, you beat me to it. Yeah, exactly. No crying, no sobbing. He sounded perfectly calm right there. It's like, can I check your boxes? Like, listen to his voice when the officer says, can I check your pockets?
Nothing on your person at all. Mind if I reach in your pockets and stuff and all that?
He actually sounded even slightly upbeat. Can I reach your pockets? And his voice sounded like he went, yeah. Listen to Carmelo.
Nothing on your person at all. Mind if I reach in your pockets and stuff and all that?
His tone was slightly up, like, yeah. When he answered if I can check his pockets. Completely obliterates the entire narrative that he was upset, that he was crying, that he was traumatized. It completely obliterates that entire fucking argument. He is calm, he is collected, and he was even in that moment when asked about checking his pockets, he sounded upbeat.
Yeah, he's not crying or freaking out. Any of the claims that were being made by blocks that like, oh, he was crying, he was sad, he was upset that he did that he had to do that. No, it was completely fine.
Do it personal there, okay? Just to make the victim's gonna be underneath that tent over there, so I'll get that memorial tent over there, guys. All right. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
This.
There it is. And you know why he's doing that? There's that crying. But you know why? Hang on. I'll show you. he handed him off to this female officer. Because when it shifts and you can hear her crying, the female officer here is the one that has custody and control over him. And so he's probably now trying to appeal to her maternal instincts with that. Because she is now the one in control of him, not the guy.
It's gonna be underneath that tent over there, so I'll get that memorial tent over there, guys. All right. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
This piece of shit.
North end.
Yeah.
They got staff standing to him right now.
He put his hands on me because you got up in his space. Oh yeah, the crying is over. That was
Yeah. You know, I wasn't entirely sure how much distance the officer had gotten from him. Maybe the body cam was picking up more. But no, I'm thinking he's still right beside him. Crying's done. He did that little spat of, I didn't mean to, man. He put his hands on me, man. And now all of a sudden, gone. Nothing. He's once again, when he saw that the cops weren't moved by it, he immediately just boom, calm, cool, and collected.
it. Was that it?
Up to you. So do one more little.
Oh yeah, look, completely calm. What the? He actually tried to cry for 3 seconds, and then we're just like, man, this ain't working.
Check, are you okay? You know I'm crying
Yes, sir. I can't believe this. Yes, I can.
for reaching your pockets, anything like that. You good? No, ma'am. Have a seat here real quick, man. Watch your head. Let me check your hood here, buddy, okay? Well, I'll tell you what, lean this way so you're not resting on your hands, okay?
Totally, like, no sniffle from quote-unquote crying. His voice is totally clear. His voice is not sounding like if he was actually crying that hard that he was like that with the way he was projecting his voice there was like, I didn't mean it. Like if he was actually crying, his voice would be sounding rough. His voice sounds totally fine. His face is like a mask of stone. Yeah, it was completely fake. Just completely fake, a complete bit for sympathy.
All right, see a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay? All right. So your first name is Carmelo?
Even spelled it. Like your name is Carmelo. If he was really that upset, would he be able to easily spell his name? Like voice came out clear, Karmelo. Immediately spelled it out for him. He said, "What's your name?" He said, "Carmelo." Cop didn't ask him to spell it. He immediately spelled it for him.
Let's see, hold on one second. I don't know yet, man. Carmelo, C-A-R-A-K-A-R-A.
Yeah, because his stupid dipshit low IQ parents spelled his name wrong. Spell it with a K and all that. It's not how you spell Carmelo.
A-R-M-E-L-O, Carmelo. What's your last name? A-N-T-H-O-N-Y. We're ready, when?
Yeah, his voice is fine.
You go to Emerson? Where do you go? Centennial. Okay. I'm in 12th grade. 12th grade? Okay.
Like, I'm in 12th grade. You hear his voice. He is dead calm. That is considering he just stabbed someone and he wants to try and claim that he's upset, that he was traumatized, that is the voice of a sociopath. He is dead calm, is able to just rattle off information easily without any issue, and just, like, is there any doubt? No, he's not in shock. No, because shock would present in a completely different way. If he was in shock, he would be spacing out. He would not be answering very concisely like this. Now, granted, shock can affect people in different ways, but given that if you want to go with shock and his supposed tearful outburst earlier, given if we were going to go with that tearful outburst at like leading into shock, that shock would basically him just be staring blankly and the cop needing to ask him a couple of times about something, and he'd be like, "What?" And then he might like, I don't, maybe stutter his words, maybe trip over his own words a little bit, but his face is dead calm. His voice is dead calm. His answers are concise. He's even offering spelling information before the police officer even asks. That's not the behavior of someone who is in shock. That is the behavior of a sociopath or a psychopath who just killed someone and doesn't care.
All right, sit tight for me real quick, bud, all right?
Where's the bit where he says, "Not alleged, I did it"? I believe it. I did not hear him say that at all in here.
Now,
Okay.
Yep, there it is. I heard it. The alleged suspect. No, not alleged. I did it.
Okay. What they there?
It's right there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, right there. I'm not
There it is.
alleged. I did it.
Okay.
This was a nice area in Texas. And
Yeah.
even though he's wearing like designer shit and it's like a nice neighborhood, it's a good school from what I understand, that do track meets and stuff. He woke up one day with that.
you have to wonder. Yeah, he told on himself. I wonder if he thought in his head, in his thug-worked head, that he thought, well, Austin disrespected me, so I'm in the right, so I'm going to be let out in court. I have to wonder if that's why he immediately admitted to it, because he was thinking, well, it's just a white kid that I killed. It's no big deal. They'll let me go. Like that, I considering he is a sociopath, I would not be surprised if that was his literal thought process.
Neighborhood is a good school from what I understand, that do track meets and stuff. He woke up one day with that curable itch.
I think he intended to kill someone with a knife. However, I don't think beyond a shadow of a doubt could be proven beyond a shadow of a doubt how had no capital murder charge. No. The very fact that he did intend to kill someone with that knife is probably why they got first-degree murder on him. Because they could not prove beyond it, because there was no way they could prove beyond shadow of a doubt that he intended to specifically murder Austin, they could not get capital murder. Again, capital murder is premeditated. And because they could not prove that he intended to specifically kill Austin that day, you can't get that premeditative charge. You can't get that capital murder charge, which is why they had to do the first-degree murder charge. He obviously intended to do harm or kill someone by bringing the knife. He obviously intended to do harm or kill someone by taking the knife out and going, touch me and see what happens. And thus, you can get the first-degree murder. He's being premeditated, should expand beyond a single target. That's a whole legal discussion in and of itself of like what should be legally constituting premeditation. But that's a rabbit hole we're not going to go down, because that is like an hours or even days long conversation back and forth about what would constitute premeditation.
This primal desire for violence. Jesus Christ, right. So we've already deduced from
Probably figured he'd get an SAR judge like all these other criminals have got weak. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. He's obviously so like social captured that I would not surprise me if that was his thought process. It's like, I'll just do my shit, disrespect me, I'll kill you, and then I'll get some judge that'll let me off, like all the other black murderers and rapists that have been getting let off in the news lately. It would not surprise me if that was part of his thought process.
the fact that everything that
Blocks.
saying was the narrative here. So like he was being ganged up on and he was being attacked, and that's why he had to use the knife. And then when the police caught him, he was crying and he was upset and he couldn't console himself. He had real empathy and he couldn't believe what he had to do. These two pieces of footage here absolutely destroy that.
I thought first degree equals premeditated and intentional, second degree intentional but not premeditated. Not in Texas. In Texas, the premeditation is capital murder, which is one step above first degree. Different states categorize it differently. In Texas, they categorize capital murder above first degree murder, whereas other states like, I'll say Illinois for one, first degree murder would be the premeditative one. That would be the same as Texas's capital murder. So yeah, it depends, like, as with all laws. Bearing in mind, every state classifies and ranks their various laws individually. So once, what you know of how a law is stated in one state may not apply in another state. That's just how it is.
Narrative entirely. It absolutely annihilates exactly what the f these blocks have been saying for the past couple of weeks, past couple of months, past year. This is what they believed, and it's not true. They seriously had to make this not look so bad. They really had to try. They had to make shit up. And look, you've still got this shit here. Austin Metcalf, definitely the aggressor, and this case should have been dismissed. Free Carmelo. You literally showed the bit where that's Carmelo pushes Austin pushes back, and then he stabs Austin, and then he flies, and then he runs.
Yeah, you can see it really good in that real-time footage. Okay, so watch. Okay, this side, Austin is over here, Carmelo's over here. You'll see Austin push, Carmelo come back, and then immediately flee out the top. Just watch. Actually, let me see if I can. Let me mute this, and I'm gonna and I'll run it slowly. Where's the speed? Playback speed. Okay. Watch. Okay, so. Oh wait, hang on. I jumped it too far. Hang on a second. No, too far still. Hang on. Okay, give it a second. All right, you can see it really clear. Okay. Shit. Hang on. All right, so you're gonna see Austin, or you're gonna see Carmelo lunge and then go out the top. You'll actually see him immediately. You saw a blur right here. This blur right here, it's a little hard to see. After he stabs Austin, he lunges, stabs, and then you can see him. Hang on. You can see him go up. This is him right here going up and out. Yep. Oh, God.
Definitely the aggressor, and this case should have been dismissed. Free Carmelo. You literally showed the bit where that's Carmelo pushes Austin, Austin pushes back, and then he stabs Austin, and then he flies, and then he runs off.
Yep.
That's what you can see here. Gets up in Austin's face, Austin pushes him back, Carmelo stabs him, and then he runs off. You can literally see it right there. This is Carmelo. This is Austin. This is Carmelo. Gets up in his face, pushes him, Austin pushes him back, and then he stabs him. You can see the stab motion. Stab, stab, and then he runs up. You can see it.
Yeah.
Hell. And they really posted this, and they were like, yeah, look, we got him. We got him. There you go. Clear. Clear as day. He had to use a knife to defend himself. Even if he was pushed first, that's still not a reason to stab a kid in the chest. Like, this is why Austin Metcalf's final words were, I'm not gonna fight you, dude. Because Carmelo gets up in his face. He then pushes him back to get him out of his face. There's now a star athlete dead.
Yeah. It's insane. And you're still gonna have people defending him. You know, we've seen the activists online continually, saying that, he did nothing wrong. He should have been allowed to. Like, how many black activists have been online saying that because Carmelo got disrespected, he should be allowed to stab him? Like, people making all kinds of excuses, like, well, you don't understand what it means to disrespect a young black boy. They're literally making an excuse that by pushing a black boy, that is a good enough reason in their heads to take the life of a white boy. The level of racism by these people is off the charts. It's completely off the charts, and it needs to get nipped in the butt. Like, there needs to be these people that are saying that, oh, it should be permissible, like purposefully lying to basically start race riots. Like, something needs to be done about that because they are trying to basically spark a race war. And it's only going to be causing more people to get hurt or killed if they have their way. What if this was the other way around? If this was the other way around, it would still be racism because you would, that's the thing. They're racist, so they'll make it racist no matter what. If the roles were reversed and Austin had stabbed Carmelo, then you would have these same racists screaming from the rooftops, this is a racist white boy. Look at this. The white man's always trying to kill the black man. And they would still espouse all of that. Black people should just be able to kill white people because white people are gunning for us anyway. Yeah, and they absolutely would have called for the death penalty. Absolutely they would have. Because racists don't care. They will twist facts to suit their narrative every fucking time. So they would have absolutely made, that's the key thing, the keynote of distinction. I need to say this again. The crime in and of itself was not racist. That's the insane part. All of these black racists are making this 100% about race. They are the ones who are saying this was a racial legal lynching, and they were making it all about the fact that Carmelo was black and Austin was white, and they were the ones that made it about race when the crime in and of itself, by witness testimony, race had absolutely nothing to do with it. Race never came up even once throughout the entire encounter. Nobody said to Carmelo, you can't be in this tent because you're black. Carmelo didn't say to Austin, shut up, white boy, or anything like that. Neither the victim nor the murderer did anything to imply race at all. It was only the racist SJRs that are the ones that made it about race. Because they have to. Because they are racists. And just like with the Southern Poverty Law Center trying to gin up racism by funding the KKK, these are the same kind of people. Like, we have to make it seem like black people are behind the 8 ball on things, and so it's justified to kill white people. Like, all of this stuff involving like racism between black and white people, it's all being perpetuated by black people. No, it's not TDS. TDS has nothing to do with this. It's not. This is a situation where TDS has nothing to do with this. These are racists that were racist before Donald Trump. They're going to be racist after Donald Trump. Okay? And that's what it is. They only understand race. Racism is literally the entirety of their identity. That's all they know. They only know how to be racist. They only know how to be race victims. And that's all they are. That's all they do. And they are functionally worthless to society. Because now, no one believes that. Absolutely no one believes that. Anytime, like, what these racists are doing by making this all about that with Carmelo Anthony is they're basically making it so when it might be a legitimate racist criminal offense, people are going to go, bullshit, it's not racist, you're making that up because you're just trying to make everything about race. And so they're actually fucking up their own narrative by making literally everything about race. So when something actually is about race, no one's going to care. No one's going to believe you. This is how stupid these people are. They can't figure out that they're literally tanking their own cause by making every single thing about, oh, you're just harming the black people. You're hurting the poor black boy. And now nobody's going to care. Like, the race card hasn't worked for a long time. Bear in mind, the race card has not worked for a very long time. Like, people pulling the race card out now, the recipients just go, fuck you. That doesn't work anymore. Now, even worse, if they try and claim that something was racist in terms of a criminal offense against someone who is black, the public is going to go, bullshit, you're lying because all you do is lie about this. And so they're literally fucking over their own cause. Bravo, you played yourself, you dumb fucks.
Burns bright, bright.